Con. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. That belongs to the elders and our apostles, the great millstone that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. Yahawah, who the world ignorantly calls God. BAHASHAM is in the name. Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and Jehovah. The Rakakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit. I'm the brother Iwalumia, joined with
Adanya.
And we're coming back here, true brothers, sisters, the hopeful elect with another lesson. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. Yeah, Con, we're going to entitle this lesson, the men of the Lord. How about Shem Yahawashi, the men of the Lord is nothing to be played with, And we're going to go over a few accounts, why that is. Because what? How about Shem Yahawashi, is backing up his men who he set up, And the ancient world, during the ancient times and here back today.
That's right.
So this is the book of 1 Samuel 16:4. And it says, and Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, comest thou peaceably? Right? Because the people, when they seen Samuel coming in, the people, knew the power that the men of the Lord had, had. They knew they backing what Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So what? They were afraid, because what? They knew that these men had great power, backing them.
Yeah, the Lord will destroy a city, just through it, with his men, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to vindicate his men, man. Just to, establish that, look, I'm dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? Like that account of the fire.
Yep. Yeah, we can get that, actually. What's that, second,
It's that 2 Kings 1, I think.
Yeah, Con. 2 Kings, what's that, yeah, 2 Kings 1 and 10. Con.
This the book of 2 Kings, chapter 1, and verse 10. He says, and Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, if I be a man of Yahawah, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee in thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him in his 50. Right, and so the Lord will do that just to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? For his man, for the man that he's dealing with, for his servant, the prophet, man. And yeah, which is nothing. It's nothing to play with, man. Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, all right, is with us, man.
That's right.
All right, and it said that, what's that account of? He said, if there be more of us than there are of them.
I think it's in the same chapter, is it? It could be in the same. I could be wrong, but it might be in the same chapter. Let me see real quick. That was 2 Kings.
That was 2 Kings
1 and 10.
I don't see it in it. I don't see it. But yeah, it don't take hard for a quick Google search. But pretty much the account.
Yeah, Con, I could be wrong. Yeah, Con.
The account was it said that there be more of us than there are in them. And he had to show him like that spirit. He had to give him that spiritual eye. All right, to see the angels, the chariots, you know what I'm saying? All right. We got a full force behind us, man. And
That's
an
right.
entire army. All right, like that account what they said when they seen they call them extra African American, extraterrestrials.
Yeah, I had seen that video. Yeah, they said it was like 6 foot, like I believe they said 6 to 8 foot tall, so-called, looking like they look like African Americans.
So they was different shades of brown.
Yeah, different shades of brown. Exactly right. And that's like the brother Daniel was saying. That's how I back him.
It said that they had this look like they had never been conquered before, man. All right, and that's the thing. That's the big difference, man. All right, that Yahawah Shem Yahawashi always win, man. He's the Lord of hosts, man. He's the man of war, man. He's that ultimate and supreme being, man. All right, all right, he is the highest of the highest, man. All right, there is no conquering Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So if you coming up against his man, what? Your ass through, man. Just like, they came up against this man, and what? The Lord just sent fire and consumed 50 people at once, man. How big was that fire, man?
Yep. Con, just to go to another account, this is the book of 2 Kings 2 and 23. And it reads, and he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, right? These little niggas. GMO babies, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head. So they was talking shit against Elisha,
That's what they roasting.
They basically roasting.
They baking them.
Yeah, they baking. That's what roasting was back then. But let's see what happened to these niggas. It says, verse 24, and he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord Yahawah. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 children of them. Right, so a simple curse, that Elisha brought upon these little ass niggas, and what happened to them? They end up being destroyed. by these she-bears, by these as the, one of the Lord's four sword judgment, the teeth of wild beasts.
Yeah.
And that's end up what happened because what? They came up against this mighty men of the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord thinks highly of his men, who he set up. Same thing today. When it's a lot of accounts that brothers, even today have a lot of accounts like when a nigga or a scoffer came into the camp, he end up getting shot, killed, or whatever the case may be.
By somebody else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just because the Lord is sanctioning these events, man. All right, the Lord, that was how the Lord planned that man's end, man.
Yep.
He came up against the prophets and lost his life, man.
That's right.
All right, and that's a faith booster for us, man.
That's right.
All right, we praise Yahawashi that he took that niglet out, man.
Yep.
All right, fuck him.
That's right.
And the Lord could do it instantly, or the Lord could do it patiently.
Yep.
You got that the one with the ball.
Yeah, Con. What's that? First Samuel.
First Samuel.
Con.
You said you wanted to start up for the context.
Yeah, context. Yep. Let's see. No, this is First Samuel.
25.
Yeah, Con. Let me get that. Yeah, Con. This is the book of First Samuel 25, and I'm gonna start at
10.
Yeah, Con. This is the book of First Samuel 25 and 10. It says, and Nabal answered David's servants. King David is a man of the Lord. A man after the Lord's heart. It says, and Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master, right? This guy Nabal, this prideful nigga Nabal, basically when King David and this man came up for some food, Nabal had food, he was, wealthy, he had certain things, that basically he can spare. What ended up happening? He was very prideful, he was very selfish. He was coming up against King David, which is one of the Lord's men. And it says, verse Salaki, there be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I take then my bread and my water and my flesh, and I have killed for my sharers, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Right. So he was talking shit. Why do I have to give my shit away to you? That's basically the mentality that this man was coming
like
into.
You said, some selfish ass shit.
Some selfish ass shit, yep.
That's just some nigga shit, man. That's these 2/3, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So David's young men turned their way, and when again it came and told him all those saying, you had something?
No, I was saying, like after you get that down, you jump down to that 38, cause
yeah, for time's sake, verse I'm gonna start at 37. I'm gonna start at 36. It says, and Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king, and Nabal's heart was merry within him, right? Because he became drunk. He was drinking. It says, for he was very drunken, right? Wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light. It says, verse 37, but it came to pass in the morning when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart, your heart is your mind, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. It says, and it came to pass about 10 days after that, the Lord Yahawah smote Nabal that he died. Right, so the Lord Yahawah killed this man for coming up against King David, for ultimately being selfish towards one of the Lord's men.
Being a nigga, man.
Being a nigga, yep. It says, verse 39, it says, when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be the Lord, Yahawah, that had pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal. So David pleaded with Yahawah to get rid of this nigga. And what ended up happening? The Lord Yahawah smote this nigga.
That's right, bro.
It says, it have kept his servant from evil, for the Lord had returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. So ultimately, after Nabal died, Yahawah gave, Nabal, Salakia, Yahawah gave King David Nabal's wife after he perished, And that's what happens when you come up against the men of the Lord, The Lord, the Lord ultimately has your number. Yeah. Whether your destruction be speedily or whether your destruction be prolonged for a harsher judgment.
Man, I already know that this man Nabal, he was at his height, man. He just a greedy nigga, man.
Yep.
He just, I got drunk and I got all this stuff, and then the Lord killed that man.
Yep, and nigga tells you all that shit can be taken away within a moment.
Scriptures say that joy is not remembered in a moment of affliction, man.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly paraphrasing.
Con.
You gotta really take these things into account, man. That's why it's humble. It's day by day, man. You really. That's why Yahawashi said, take no thought on tomorrow, man. Because
tomorrow take care of its own.
it'll take care of itself, man. You trying to? Oh yeah, I'm trying to stack up and man. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Yeah, you all good, brother. Let's get that 1 Samuel 5 and 6. Let me see. Con. This is the book of 1 Samuel 5. And I'm gonna start at man, this is a heavy chapter. I'm gonna start at 4. I'm gonna start at 3. It says, and when day of Ashdod arose early in the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord Yahawah, and they took Dagon and set him in his place again. Right, just a little background. The Philistines took the ark of the covenant, and what ended up happening? Yahawah ended up plaguing these heathens. Just going back to the title of our lesson. You don't mess. What Yahawah shine as men.
Yeah.
So let's see what happened.
And then what? They put the ark by this idol that of one of their gods, man, by a statue of one of their gods or whatever, man.
Con.
All right.
It says in verse 4, it says, and when they arose early on the morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord Yahawah. And just a little background on this god, this false idol, Dagon. It's like a fish god, a fish serpent god, that these heathens was worshiping. It says, in the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. So, right, the Lord basically what? These idols is a laughingstock, and the Lord basically showed just that, your idol on the ground, face down, face first.
Face down before me.
Yeah, con.
Face down before the ark with no limbs.
Yeah, that's right. It says, therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon and Ashdod to this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emerods.
Which is like hemorrhoids, man. Hey, and that's painful. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
Even Ashdod and the coast thereof. Right, so basically the Lord was plaguing these people. Just to, go further into the account, just basically for time's sake, ultimately what? They end up giving the Ark of the Covenant back, Yeah. Yeah, they end up giving it back like, nah, we don't want it. Right, so this just basically shows you the terror of Yahawashi. Not only the terror of Yahawashi, but what his men, the power that Yahawashi has given to his men, when anybody come up against them, But
you hit that 7?
Yeah, Khan hit 7 also. Khan.
Grab.
I'm gonna just read down. Verse 5, it says, therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon and Ashdod unto this day. It says, but the hand of the Lord Yahawah was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. It says, and when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of the power of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us and upon Dagon our God. Right, so they was terrified.
Yeah, they was terrified.
The Lord was basically jacking them up.
They was thinking about their idol like, no, we gotta do something good for their God. The best thing we do for their idol was to get the ark of the Lord away from them, man. The Yahawashi outside is too much, man.
Yeah,
he too much, bro. He too mighty, man.
Yeah, that's right.
He can do everything, man. In an instant.
Con. Let's get that. You got it out. What you want to get first?
We could grab that Matthew.
That Matthew, Con.
Yeah, we could grab that Matthew 21. And the thing is that what these are accounts showing you that the Lord is not playing. The Lord Yahawashi not playing, and he not playing about his men either, man.
Yep.
All right. This Matthew 21 and 12. It says, and Yahawashi went into the temple of Yahawah and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple. So it says he cast them out.
Just for you all good.
All right. This the book of Matthew chapter 21 verse 10. And when he was coming to Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, who is this? And the multitude said, this is Yahawashi, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. All right, he's a prophet, man, So the Lord, the Lord's son, man.
Yep.
Just like all the prophets.
Yep.
All right. Verse 12, it says, and Yahawashi went into the temple of Yahawah and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple. Right. And that's the thing is that, he cast all of them out, man.
Yep.
Of their place of business, which, they had turned the truth into just like a money grab, man. They selling, you can only imagine it.
Same thing that these guys are doing today.
That's
they
right,
selling
bro.
fringe t-shirts
Garments.
and shit. Selling a $100 breakdown that's not accurate.
Selling a breakdown. Selling charts.
Bro, it's bugged out. The Lord is finna get you niggas back for that, bro.
That's right, bro.
The truth should be free for those who know that's trying to hear, that's trying to get the understanding.
And Yahawashi, all right, the firstborn, only begotten, all right, he felt the way that they made this of the truth. So he put everybody out of their own place of business, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahawashi had that power, man. All right, Yahawashi can make things, it says that all judgment is given into the hand of the Son, man. The Lord said he could have called legions of angels. So it was the light thing for him to put out these wicked niggas.
Wow, what's that? One angel, one rough word. Just basically shows you the power of Yahawashi.
However, the Lord could have used the force or whatever he wanted to do to cast them out, man. But they had no power, man.
That's right.
They had no resistance to resist Yahawashi, man.
I'm charged, bro.
It says Matthew 21:12, and Yahawashi went into the temple of Yahawah and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. Right, so
he was beating their ass.
Yeah,
and he cast them out.
Yeah, he cast them out. He was beating their ass. He was casting them out. He fucking, man, bro.
And it shows you how much the work of Yahawah means to Yahawashi.
That's right, bro.
As the scriptures say, he's about his father's business. Same thing with his men.
That righteous indignation. That's that righteous anger that he had for them, man. That's why the Lord sanctioned it that way, man. All right, that's righteous for Yahawashi to feel that way and to get rid of you niggas, man. It was righteous for King David to put a curse on that wicked, stingy nigga, man. It was righteous for all of these acts. Was a righteous thing. Why? Because y'all in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Y'all coming against the man in the truth, the man who in the right. Because Yahawashi said so, man. Because the creator of heaven and earth said so, man.
It's a scripture that say, that I believe it's either Zechariah 3:8 or Zephaniah 3:8. It says those those that touch you touch the apple of my eye. Loosely paraphrasing.
Scripture say it's a righteous thing to recompense them that trouble you. Man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord really love his sons, man.
Especially the ones that's doing this work in truth and in sincerity.
Man.
Starting with our elders and apostles, on down, that's been doing this work for 20 and 30 plus years.
That's right, bro.
You think the Lord is going to let something happen to those great men? Hell no.
Come on, bro.
Hell no. After you've been laboring so long, doing the work, the Lord got you covered.
Yeah. It's that hedge about you, man. Like, just speaking to myself personally, man. All right, it's a lot of situations just moving out here in Chicago, man. But the Yahawashi really got that hedge about his men, man. You want to grab that 1 Samuel 17?
Yeah, got one more after that.
All right,
this is the book of 1 Samuel 17, and let's see what's a good place to start. I'm gonna start at 8, and then I'm gonna just jump down. This is the book of 1 Samuel 17, and I said 8, right?
Yeah,
8. It says, he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them, why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. All right. So ultimately, Israel was scared to go against Goliath, because his size and his stature, So what ended up happening? The Lord, Salakia, and they end up going to basically I forget how the account is basically quoted. But just to basically summarize it, King David ended up coming down. He grabbed a couple of stones, and ultimately he came with the name of the Lord. I'm gonna actually get that. It says, verse 9, it says, if he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. And just to dumb down, jumping down to verse 13, it says, and 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of the 3 sons that went into battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next unto him, Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest of the three elders that followed Saul. It says, but David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep in Bethlehem. So ultimately, King David ended up coming down to the battlefield. Let's see what happened. Because ultimately, what? Yahawashi was with King David. It says, let's jump down to verse, let's see. Salakia. It's a heavy chapter.
Okay.
Let's jump down to verse 36. It says, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. I'm Salakia 35. It says, I went out after him and smote him and
34
Salakia. You all good. Verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servants kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. It says, and I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him.
Imagine catching a lion by his beard, man. That's how mighty this man of the Lord is, man.
Yep. Khan. In order to do something like that, the Lord has to be with you.
Lord with you, man.
Yeah, Khan.
I'm woo.
It says, and David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered...
hit 36.
36. Oh, Salakia. I had skipped the Salakia. It says, verse 36 says, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defied the armies of the living power.
Come on, man. Yahawah of hosts, man. All right, the Lord of armies, man.
And right, we talking about how the Lord, is blessing these certain men, in these certain situations, but also the miracles of getting these certain men out of those situations. What's that? I believe it was Daniel and the Lions Den. Just to quickly quote
wow,
on the account.
That's faith, man.
Yeah, that's faith, exactly. Just to basically quote these different accounts, but just to continue, verse 37, it says, David said, moreover, the Lord Yahawah that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go and the Lord Yahawah be with thee.
Yeah. And that show you the difference of faith, man, because what? King Saul was the tallest Israelite, man. He was head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah.
He was terrified to go out against Goliath, man. Somebody bigger, stronger than him. And a fleshly though. But this showed you, and what? King David was the shortest out of all his brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? But what? That faith, through faith, Yahawashi slew this giant through a young man, man.
Yep.
and Saul is the tallest. He's the tallest Israelite. Like, that show you the difference, man. Like, if you got faith, man, brothers, all right? If you got faith, the Lord gonna deal with you, man. The Lord, you gonna, they say that, Yahawashi said that we gonna do mightier miracles than him, Lord will. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord actually got that power set up for
the
us
scripture said in that day, we gonna be, the feeble among us is gonna be as David, And that's what we were looking forward to that. But just to finish the account, it says, verse 38, it says, Saul armed.
And that's not even talking about the elect. That's talking about 2/3. Say the feeble among. It say that say my servant gonna be as. They say they're gonna be as the powers, man. All right, that word right there is powers, man. It's gonna be they gonna be the Alahayim, man. All right, they're gonna go back to that original estate, who dealt with the elements, man. All right, it's if you, Lord willing, we of the elect, we're gonna be on a different level, man. We're gonna be as the Most High, man.
Yeah, the 1/3, man.
We're gonna be just like Yahawashi, man.
The 1/3, the 144,000, the 1/3 gonna be fucking some shit up out here, and that's what the Lord is dealing with. Verse 38, just to finish the account, it says, and Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also, he armed him with a coat of mail. It says, and David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. Here's the point. Verse 40 says, he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. It says, and the Philistine came on and draw near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And just to jump down, David is standing face to face with, Goliath,
45.
Khan, it says, then David, Salaki, then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the power of armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. It says, this day will the Lord Yahawah deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the hosts of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel. Right, Khan. And ultimately what ended up happening? King David used that smooth stone to kill Goliath, and after, Goliath was flat out dead, King David took that sword and cut his head off with his own sword. And that's the power of Yahawashi, And that's what the Lord is dealing with his men, man.
Absolutely.
You could just for example, you might not know how to fight and things like that. You might have 1,000 niggas coming after you.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord, if the Lord is dealing with you, the Lord, put the spirit on you to slay all those men, man.
Scripture say one gonna chase 1,000, man, because Yahawah gave them into his hand, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahawah, that's what our Lord is doing, man, especially for us that serving him, man.
King David said he came with the name of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he needed.
He didn't even have no armor on, man. He didn't have a sword. He just grabbed some stones on the way, like, look, we finna get him gone, man.
Shit, what we had, one more?
Did you have one more?
Basically, we can just low-key end up, that was basically the point.
That was the point?
Yeah, that was the point. Well, the spirit, let's grab it. Let's grab it. This is the book of 2nd Maccabees 9 and 1, right? This is going back, during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, what the Lord Yahawashi did to this man. It says about Salakia, 2nd Maccabees 9 and 1, it says, about that time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. And so it happened that Antiochus being put to flight, of the inhabitants returned with shame. It says, now when he came to Ecbatane, news was brought him that had happened unto Nicanor and Timotheus. Then swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee. Therefore commanded he his chariot men to drive without ceasing, and to dispatch the judgment of Yahawah now following him. For he had spoken proudly in this sort, that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews, right? So this man Antiochus had in his mind that he was going to, lay this place, to waste.
He's going to exterminate them.
Yeah, exterminate it, exactly. And amongst, Israel, the Lord had men amongst Israel that, that he cared about, Now, the Lord had prophets among, these, because, a lot of our people was wicked. A lot of our people was wicked then. A lot of our people was wicked now. But the Lord had righteous men amongst our people.
That's right, bro.
It says, but the Lord Almighty, the power of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague, or as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was remediless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts. Right, this is Yahawashi smoting this Edomite, with an incurable plague. Going back to our title, you don't mess with Yahawashi and his men, because you will be made an example of. It says, and that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments.
Well, he playing with other man's exit,
Mm-hmm.
that exit port, man.
Yep.
He just playing with it, man, torturing it. Right, that's a sick Edomite for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do, man. That's their MO.
Verse 7 says, howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging, but still was filled with pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews, and commanding to haste the journey. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pained. Right, so he was.
If you ever see that episode of SpongeBob with that nigga, he talking about all my glass are made of bones.
Yeah.
All my bones are made of glass. So like,
Yeah.
All right, that's his whole body. He fell, and the Lord jacked his entire body up, man.
Coming into the point, it says, and thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea. So proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in a horse slitter, showing forth unto all the manifest power of Yahawah, so that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army. So Yahawashi made an example out of this nigga, you know, coming up against his people, coming up against, most importantly, his men that he set up, And it says, verse 10, it says, the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. And it says, kind of finna get to the point. It says, and here therefore being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride, and to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of Yahawah, his pain increased every moment. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he said these words, it is meet to be subject unto Yahawah, and that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself if he were of the Most High, right? So ultimately, what he gave the Most High his props.
That's right.
So this nigga was in his pride and things like that, but ultimately at his end, he acknowledged Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi,
Yeah.
and that's the basically basically going into our lesson. You don't mess with Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi and this man. First and foremost, you don't mess with Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi, because he will jack you up, and we just read an account upon that. The Lord will make you an example, and also you don't mess with this man that he set up, because the Lord will also make you an example. Going to these different accounts, how the Lord was with his men. You got anything to add, brother?
Nah, that was it.
So with that being said, we hope it was edifying. We want to end up by giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi BAHASHAM Rakakwadash. That want us to the elders and our apostles, the great millstone that taught us the truth, and salutations to the hopefully elect that's around the four corners of the globe. Lord willing, we hope this lesson was edifying until next time. Wah, Ababa, Shalom.
Shalom.